Hello, how are you called and chosen people? I hope everyone is doing great so far. Okay, now I have gotten feedback regarding the videos that we have been putting out, and I'm so excited that you guys are learning from it. So just keep up the good work. Remember, it's not just for your information, it's for you to apply those things so that you can get results. Okay? All right, so today we're going to start part one of something that we see a lot in the office, right? In patients. And it's getting more and more rampant because we are such a toxic nation that if we're not careful, we're going to put ourselves in trouble, right? So we're going to talk today about gastro-esophageal reflux disease, which we just say reflux disease, right? So most of the prescriptions that we actually write out in the United States or even all over the world, 50 to 60% of those prescriptions are for digestive issues. And one of those digestive issues is reflux disease. All right, so I think the most common symptom for reflux disease is heartburn, like really painful heartburn, usually after eating certain types of food. So remember when we're talking about the big connection, which is the brain immune gut connection, right? Where the vagus nerve in your brain communicates with the enteric nerve in your gut and says, hey, something is happening. So if it's sick, right, it's transmitting sickness and vice versa, right? So there's a nerve called the sympathetic nervous system. So it helps with fight and flight. So if you're like, okay, I'm about to like really go through a major stress, right? It tells the brain sends signals to the gut and says, okay, shut down, something is happening here, right? Mayday, shut down. Let's not do anything more. And when that happens, then no acid production. You don't have any gastric acid production. And without gastric acid production, you cannot digest food, right? You need gastric acid to digest food. And without digesting food, there's something we call putrefaction and fermentation of the food, right? And that leads to the gas, like the bloating, the bubbles, and reflux, meaning everything now goes up because digestion can't take place to move down, peristaltic movement, right? Everything goes up and you have this massive erosion of your esophagus, and that's when you have like heartburn, where some people say chest pain, and some people actually don't have heartburn. What they keep doing is so they keep clearing their throat. So I usually will like let us just make sure it's not reflux disease, right? So the most common medication we use for reflux disease is antacids, right? Either H2 blockers, which is Pepcid, or PPIs, which is Prilosec, which is omeprazole, right? They do the same thing like the sympathetic nervous system. So they inhibit gastric acid production. Without gastric acid, remember, you cannot digest food, right? And these are prescriptions we give you and say, hey, go take this and it's going to actually solve the problem. Please don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that someone in pain and really uncomfortable cannot use antacids for a short period, but they were not made for you to use on a long term because they are actually detrimental for you. So like I said, it shuts down the gastrointestinal function. You can't produce gastric acid, no digestion, putrefaction, and then the reflux symptoms. So inadequate acid, gastric acid, which antacids also cause, right? Can lead to multiple issues: leaky gut, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, right? Yeast overgrowth, right? Ova and parasites. So these are things that people have and present with different symptoms, right? And they're wondering, what is going on? This thing is supposed to be helping me. Why am I feeling so bad as opposed to feeling better? And without gastric acid, right, you can't absorb any nutrients. And without absorption of nutrients, what's happening? Osteoporosis, right? Autoimmune diseases, right? So do you see the cascade of events happening, right? From something that is supposed to be helping us, right? So antacids also cause anemia, right? So there are multiple things that these medications cause if we use them on the long term, right? So medications like antacids are supposed to be used on a short term. So I'm going to stop here today and just kind of to get you thinking. Am I doing the right thing to get my gut health better? Am I doing the right thing to get my health in check? So next week I'll be dealing with part two of what can I do, right? When I have these symptoms, what can I do as opposed to depending on this prescription that I have to keep going up on the dose on. All right. So people always ask me, Dr. Pala, what is like your foundation. What do you like really do for your health? And I don't lie about it. And I always tell people I'm a follower of Jesus, right? My foundation is Jesus is my healer. That's my foundation. That, and it's unshakable for me. That is how I'm able to love my patients and do things for my patients. And then learning how to take care of my temple, which is my physical body, my emotional health, and all that stems from that. And that's how I'm able to teach you guys what I've been doing for years now. Okay, so if you have any questions or comments, I don't know how this thing works. Just type it out or whatever, and they always ask me the questions in the office. I'm able to get back to you. All right, do not forget who you are. Do not forget that you're called and chosen, and you're anointed to do great things. All right, so your help this weekend, and I'll see you again next week. Take care.